Buongiorno, everybody. Yeah, I'm here off to the side trying to look cool. Today is my son Carlo's 23rd birthday. So, I have a lot to do today, but I decided I'm going to do it with you guys for a while, so you're going to see me be like I am normal in my kitchen without everything all set up, just ready to go, because I had to make a trip to the grocery store this morning to go pick up some much needed items, and last night I didn't feel like going, so I went this morning. And then I was like kind of moseying through, and I just terrible at the grocery store because I talked to everybody, so it took me longer. I was actually gonna still try to come on for 11, but it didn't happen. So here we are, and it's Carlo's birthday, and so we are going to get some things started. I've allowed him to have a few friends over this evening. There's gonna be like 6, and we're gonna be outside. We're doing this all appropriate for the times. We're gonna be outside with the fire pit. It's supposed to be a nice evening. We're gonna have the hot tub where I'm gonna let 2 of them in at a time across from each other. Maybe 3, because it's still far enough apart. I think it's a 6-foot square, so it could probably fit 4 people in the corners and be legal. But anyway, he'll be outside. They'll come in and get a little bite to eat, but it's going to be a nice little evening, just to celebrate his birthday. And, a couple of my kids will be here too, so it'll be nice. So there's some surprises, but I'm not going to get into that yet because I don't want him to accidentally see this. So anyway, so I was all planned to do this nice Italian meal for them tonight. I was going to make homemade pizza, and I was going to do meatballs and sausage and peppers and do some, stuff that all the kids like. Then last night he springs on me, because I already had everything I needed for that. That's why I had to go to the store this morning. He's like, I'm really feeling in the mood for like Mexican, like tacos or something. Why don't you just do like a taco bar or a blah, 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 blah. And I said, you know what? How about we make some nice fajitas? Because I love marinating the meat. It tastes so good, and I'll grill it on, I'm not sure if I'm going to use the outside grill or the inside grill pan, but either way, it's going to be nice. So you're going to be here with me right now. I'm just going to be doing some prep. I just got back from the store. Stuff's still in bags, but that's the way it is. If you want to see me live in my kitchen, real life, here it is. I was actually going to try to put this in a bowl and make it look, show nice, but I didn't. So my block here is nice and clean, and I'm going to cut on this, but then I'm going to sterilize it later. I wipe it down with either vinegar, water, or peroxide, and I clean it off real good. I do soap it once and then dry it very quickly when I cut meat on it. But I do cut meat on it. I learned a long time ago, the plastic cutting boards, that sometimes I used to tend to default to a plastic cutting board when I cut chicken and stuff. And you know what? Plastic holds just as many germs as the wood. And I like this better because it's better to cut on. You want to know the best part? So I go to the store, and I'm back in the back talking to the butcher, and I want some, nice beef to, marinate. And he's like, well, he goes, I'll cut it for you. And I'm like, oh, that would just save me some time. That's awesome. He goes, circle back around, and I'll do it. So I ordered my couple pounds of that. And I forgot to circle back around, so I just sent Pasquale to the store to go pick up the meat I left at the butcher. So I'm going to start with the chicken. He's going to show up here in a few minutes with my beef. So let's get one of my little knives. So anyway, okay, you're with me today, non-prepped. I'm going to be running here and there. I usually try to not go off camera too much, because then somebody shows up and there's nobody here but a cabinet. But today you're going to see me come and go because I don't have everything out in front of me because I just got back from the store. So first thing I'm going to do is get this nice bowl here. That's my lemons afterwards for marinating. So we're going to slice some chicken up. Let's get my little knife to cut this open. Actually, I like to rinse my chicken, so hold on one second. So I don't get my counter all chickeny. And we're going to go to town. So, first things first. All important can't find my cutting stone, so I'm just going to use my little sharpener here today. This is pretty sharp right now, so I'm going to just go through but whenever I'm cutting chicken for some reason, soft stuff dulls your knife so quick. So let's go through the coarse grinder. I'll probably do that once or twice. Wipe that off. That's as long as I wish I could just like cut some of the belly fat off here. Okay, anyway, so I'm gonna give you, actually, I'm not cutting this the way I usually do my my scallopini, but I am gonna cut it kind of a little bit thinner before I slice it into slices. So right now I'm just cutting all the little pieces of fat off because I can't stand chicken fat unless it's deep fried on fried chicken. Oh, a little piece of bone in here, so this is good. But this is actually pretty clean chicken, so I'm pretty happy with that. Okay, so I'm just gonna, now normally when I do scallopini, I do like 3 or 4 this way, but I'm just gonna cut these in half once. And then I'm gonna cut them, so you can see the grain is going this way. So I'm gonna cut them across the grain, because then when you go to bite them off, they just bite off nice and easy. So I'm just gonna cut these into strips. So they're like, you know, these kind of strips. Boop. And you know, the end one's gonna be funky, but that's okay. Nobody's gonna notice. It's all gonna have pretty marinade that's gonna make it even more nice and mellow. So, if you stick it out with me right now, you see real life and Dorina's real kitchen. We're gonna do this. We're gonna get the meat marinating, and then, and you know it's gonna be cool because I was a little lazy and I let the butcher, if you have a good butcher, which this guy seemed, I was talking to him, he seemed pretty knowledgeable and he's been there, I forget how many years now, I forget what he said, but a lot of years, 13 or 7, I don't know, something like that. The beef is already going to be cut into strips, so we're just going to put that in its own bowl also to marinate. And what happens when you marinate citrus and meat, it helps break down, you know, citrus kind of cuts through and helps break down the fibers. And it's really nice because then it makes the meat so much more tender and the flavor gets in throughout the whole thing. It's just nice. So when I was in Mexico years ago, I was actually in Cancun, but not in a touristy area on vacation. I was actually there applying for a job. Almost took a job there of being like a, kind of like the cruise, like the activities director at a big hotel. And it was, you know, I always called it was like being Julie on the Love Boat. So I was hanging out with the locals. And we had, see, and I didn't even close the door, so you're hearing Louie bark at the neighbors. That's okay. Real life. Do you guys have dogs that bark in the background of your life? That's what we have. There's always background noises. Whether it's a car going by or a neighbor yelling at their kid. Oh, that used to always be me. I probably would have hated being my neighbor. So, there we go. So anyway, back to Mexico. So of course I was hanging out with the locals because I was going to be one. I didn't end up getting that, I didn't take that job. But it was a cool free trip I had down there. And so that was really neat. I should have taken it. But then I was like, you know, I was so excited to go do something like that. And then I was like, oh, I don't know. It's so far away, blah, blah, blah. And I mean, I speak Spanish, so, and I did then too. So it was not that big a deal, but still, it was kind of something I would have loved to have done with a friend. But I didn't have anybody that had the nerve, nor spoke the language like I did. But I made some friends there. But anyway, one of the things that we had one night, we're down on the beach out in front of the hotel, because it was like off season, so it wasn't like really crowded. It was really cool. We had like a cookout, but it was, you know, Mexican style. And all they had these beautiful flour tortillas, and they had this big bowl of meat that was marinating in, I don't know what at the time. And all they were doing was cooking the meat and throwing it in a flour tortilla and eating it simple, plain like that. Oh, that's real Mexican. It was so good. And so when I do these, I don't load mine up with, I mean, I love the vegetables, and sometimes I'll just make a tortilla with the cooked, and I'll marinate some vegetables tonight too. Because I'm going to make some meatless versions also here. But I love just that plain piece of yummy, tender, marinated meat in the flour tortilla. That is so good. So simple. Kind of like when we're in Italy and we have a quickie little panino. It's usually just a little bit of meat, maybe a little bit of mozzarella in a piece of, you know, in between two nice slices of Italian bread. The foods outside of here are so less complicated, and it's so easy to be authentic by just taking out 27 of the ingredients you usually use, and all of a sudden you're authentic Italian or Mexican or whatever. So think about that. Little pieces of fat off of here. This is my last piece. It's almost done. And then we're gonna make the marinade. And then I'll just make enough marinade now that when the beef gets here, where's the beef? We will just put the same marinade. It's gonna have the same marinade, very simple. Some people just cut the whole chicken breast thick. I like them thinner. And I also feel like once you break through that top layer of skin, just my own personal thoughts, I feel like the marinade gets in better. Aha, I hear a door. That means my beef is here. Haha, that's pretty funny. These are beautiful. This is Angus beef. So we're gonna take some of these big pieces of fat off the edge. So Angelina, see, I'm cutting these beautiful steaks into strips like this, and we're gonna marinate them in lemon juice and some herbs, and it's in some olive oil. It's gonna soak in, and it's gonna be yummo. These are longer than the chicken, so I'm gonna cut them in half. Look at them though. Look at the beautiful marbling. It's just enough. It's gonna just melt like butter. My kids are coming home, and I am just so happy. Just the fact that Angelina's watching right now and saying, "Oh, I see steak." My kids, I love making them happy with food because it's really the only thing I do. So otherwise, I just annoy them, but you know. Remember, when you're cutting something like this, you always go across the grain, so then it falls apart. Let me find one that can fall apart for you. They come, well, they're raw right now, so they're not going to fall apart too much. But you go across the grain, so you can look at it and you can see the stripes going this way. You cut it opposite, and then it just falls apart so nice. You can cut these. There's no real rule as to how thick you have to cut these. You can cut them thicker, thinner. I like thinner because that means more surface area on each piece to marinate and get flavor on. I did buy some fish. So I'm also going to marinate the fish, but I'm going to do it a little later because I think it's cod and it's not super, you know, it's not like a tuna steak or a, you know, other steak that's, you know, kind of firmer. So I'm going to marinate this only 2 or 3 hours before cooking instead of all day like these, because the meat is definitely tougher. It's going to take longer to break down. This will soak it up a lot quicker. So this is going in the fridge. I'm going to get this thing. We're going to juice some lemons and some limes. So I don't know, I'm sure you guys know, but you know, if you kind of roll your lemons and limes, you're breaking some of the pulp. So we are going to just fresh squeeze the lemons and the limes. So what I'm going to do is, so as not to bore you guys, just going to do a little bit of the juice. I'll finish adding the juice to it later, but then we're going to put the rest of the spices in. And then I'm going to take half of it and I'm going to pour it on the... Now, make sure you get it all. And when you're on these things, if you squeeze down, push down from the top and then go around, you go, got it all out. Now, you can, one of my friends, actually, you know what, that's not a bad idea. One of my friends messaged me on Facebook yesterday or the other day when I was talking about lemons, and she says she peels them and then just blends the whole thing. The only thing with that is, I don't know about the seeds, if they blend, but I guess we're just marinating. I guess it wouldn't really matter if the seeds are in there, would it? Okay, well, that's pretty good. That's 1 lime gave me 2 ounces of juice. That's pretty good, I think. And boy, is that potent. That's a big lime though. Let's do a lemon. And then, you know, maybe we will, let's see what we feel like doing. Lemons are so much easier to juice than limes. Limes are tougher. They're more compact, you know. All right, that one is nice. A lot of seeds in that lemon though. I gotta do it left-handed, which is harder for me because right now I tweaked my shoulder and it's just starting to feel better. So I don't wanna, and of course I tweaked my right one because I'm a right-handed. Okay, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna pour all of this in, even the pulp and the seeds. I'm gonna pick out some of these bigger seeds, but you know, that's all gonna give it flavor, so it's okay. It's not going into a sauce, it's going into a marinade, so that's all right. I got a spoon with holes in it, so that way if I get something, we'll just put it inside the lemon here. So now, let's see what we're gonna add to this. I say that, you know me, I kind of like to add, I always like to add my Italian oregano because I got Italianize anyway, everything. Let me put a little bit of that in there. A little bit more than a little bit. And then we're gonna squeeze some fresh garlic. So my garlic press, so we're gonna put a good amount of garlic in here because we want it to really be pungent, get that flavor. So we're gonna squeeze in at least 3 or 4 big cloves, or who knows, we'll see what it looks like, maybe more. Ta-da. This is fun. I love doing, I don't know, the lemon and the garlic right now just smells so good. Ta-da! Okay, so let's see here. Let's stir this. We're gonna stir this all up. Oh my gosh. All that is lemon, lime, garlic, and a little oregano. But you know, we're gonna squeeze a lot more lemon juice in here. So I'm gonna go ahead and put a little bit more garlic in because sometimes you just can't have too much garlic. I put 2 of them in there. Yes. Wow. Okay, there we go. Oops, getting it all over the place. Okay. Wow, look at that. That is just lots of garlic and lemon pulp. Let's do another lemon real quick. Then I'm gonna add get that label off of there. Oh yeah, this nice juicy one. So anyway, so what I'm gonna do now is I'm going to put this juice is gonna go on the meat. I'm gonna put the meat not in that bowl. They're in there for the moment, but I'm gonna put them in Ziploc bags because then every now and then I'm gonna go in the fridge and just kind of jiggle them around. I mean, you can do the same thing in a bowl. You can stir it around, but it's it's nice. You can, like I said, you can do it either way, but I kind of like the idea of squishing it around and really making it. Oh my goodness, though, look at this. Look at that. You know what I think I'm gonna do? I'm gonna throw a little bit of white wine in here. And yes, usually I have my wine in a nice little bottle, but right now I have it in the gallon because I finished my bottle. Just gonna put a little bit of this in. Because, you know, wine makes everybody happy. Oh, there we go. So now we have this beautiful, yummy, garlicky, lemony, winey marinade. And now we're gonna do what I like to do. We're gonna put a little black pepper in. And a little bit of, oh no, that's just white salt. I thought there was something in my salt. A little bit of salt, probably about a tablespoon of salt. Beautiful sea salt. Okay. There's other things you can add to these, but you can put some cayenne. You can make it hot and spicy. I'm gonna make it mild. Because we can add, I'm gonna make some sauces that are a little more spicy, but that's that. So, we're gonna take some of this. Let's make sure we get it even. Okay, so we're gonna take half a cup here and half a cup here. And then oh my gosh, look at all that garlic sitting on top. And then half a cup. So basically here, you're seeing, and I have just a little bit left. That's gonna be for the, probably about 3/4 of a cup left. That's gonna be for the fish. I don't have as much of that. So I'm just gonna take this and, so this has a whole cup of, sorry, I saw another seed. I might as well take it out. Doesn't really matter if it's there, but so I'm stirring this all up so that it's all in the juice. All the sides get touched. And same thing with the beef. So I've got actually 3 pounds of each. I've got 3 pounds of beef and 3 pounds of chicken. And actually, I'm gonna go ahead and put the rest of this in here. I'm gonna make some more for the fish. So I'm gonna say there's about 1.5 cups of marinade. Oh, just shy of 1.5 cups of marinade in both of these things. I see a seed. And look at how beautiful this is. I mean, you can just, oh. I'm doing the same thing here. A little bit. Let these marinate. So now, hold on, let me get my bags. Okay, so I'm using my freezer bags because they're a little more heavy duty, and I don't want these accidentally breaking. So, let's get some tongs. Use my short tongs, I have a lot more control of that. So we're gonna put all the meat in the bag. So right now, the way I've marinated these, you can do this just on the grill plain. And you know, you can say that this is a Mexican dish, but it's also very Italian flavors, lemon, white wine, oregano. So this kind of transcends cultures. Because I've done stuff like this in Italy and we put the meat on the grill and oh, so good. Okay, so now I'm going to take this, what's left of this, the juice that's in here, and just pour that in. I'm going to squeeze out as much of the air as I can. one nice tight marinated chicken. And now my beef. Look, hon, he's walking by. He's got to see. Look at this. Look how beautiful these are. They're already breaking down in the lemon juice. He's got to be the silent behind the camera. You know, the silent type. The strong, silent type. Is that what you are, hon? The strong, silent type. Supposedly. I don't know. I don't know if he's silent or strong. No, I'm just kidding. Ha ha. I see the dogs are standing. They're outside. They're standing. I think they can smell all the meat. They're like hovering at the door. Okay. And here we got this marinade here. Get some of this air out of here. And then later on, as I take these out every now and then, I'm just going to kind of do this and put them back in the fridge. So they're going in the fridge now. Oh, my goodness. These are heavy. Because they're squishy, I have to, you know, find a spot for them so they don't go falling all over the place. So that's the beginning of my day today. I got my meat marinated. I've got some beautiful flour tortillas I bought. And we're gonna cook these, we're gonna grill these chicken up. And then what I'm gonna do now, actually I'll go ahead and do it with you. Hold on one second. Let me just do a quickie cleanup here. Now, let me get all these limes out of here. I had too many of those, but that's okay because they're gonna use those for the margaritas. They're all of age now. Well, mostly. But we're in our own home. So there. Okay, we are going to cut up some. I'm going to cut up peppers and onions, and I'm going to cut up some other vegetables because I am going to grill some vegetables to have a vegetarian option. So I'm going to grill up some zucchini and some yellow squash and some portobello mushrooms. And what I'm going to do with those, though, is I'm going to grill them and then marinate them. I'll marinate the mushrooms ahead of time, but I'm not going to marinate the zucchini. It'll just break up too much. But those, I just put, honestly, the best thing I put on those is a little balsamic and extra virgin olive oil and just a pinch of salt. And I just let them sit for a few. I will grill some whole onions. So you take a nice, hold on. Take nice, great big onions like these, and you slice them into like 1/2 inch slices. You put a skewer through it and just grill it. Oh, and then you just cut them in halves or quarters. And oh, yum. It's a different kind of flavor and texture in a way because they don't get as soft as they do when you saute them. You don't want that. You want kind of them solid but soft enough, and they pulls out the sweetness. And you mix those together with the zucchini and the yellow squash and the peppers. So you can do that one way. And you're done? He's over there making noise, and so I'm calling him out. He's trying really not carefully to go into the doggy treat bag and get doggy treats.
Oh, sorry.
So he goes and slams the outside door. Oh, sorry. He's doing it on purpose, but you know what? He doesn't want to be on camera. I'm going to make him be on camera anyway, just from behind it. So anyway, okay. I'm going to show you the trick. Hold on. Sorry. Had to go in my cabinet to get my skewers out. So I keep all my skewers together. Hold on. I'm going to get the shorter ones. I don't need the really long ones. And I keep them all rubber banded together because if you're not careful with these things, they slide all over Kingdom Come. That's a typical kitchen problem. What the heck? How to keep the skewers. So, now, you know, supposedly, they come with this Ziploc top, but some of them do. Some of them don't. But then they break through anyway. So we're going to take a couple of these. And I'm going to show you what I do. Well, my big knife is in the sink over there, so let's see which one of these is going to cut through nicely. Let's go with the top. This is a big piece. Okay. Let me see if I can take some of this off. It's easier to not cut through the outer skin if you don't have the right knife. Let's see. There we go. I don't usually like cutting on the round, but for this one you have to. Because you want the whole circle. Okay, so here we go. So what we're gonna do, because this one wasn't even perfect, I'm gonna take the outer skin off. Actually, that's a crappy piece. Okay, so since this one's a little broken, I'm gonna go right through there. So you're gonna put these down on the block here, because you don't want to do it in your hand, because then you're just gonna put it through. So you got it through the. And sometimes it depends. If you feel like you got it through good enough, then you're good to go and you can just do it like this. If not, sometimes I do both sides. Just take this ugly outside piece off. I mean, sometimes they're skinny on one side and not on the other. So I'm just gonna break that off because I'm gonna save that good piece and put the skewer through it. There we go. I would just look at what I'm doing. Of course, I dropped the middle piece out, but that's okay. There we go. So these pieces are going to get put on the, I'm going to grill them. Then I'm going to cut them into pieces and they're going to go into my grilled vegetable marinated stuff that, let's see if I can get this piece off without cutting my fingers. Ta-da! Oh, that has it has a bad piece in there. So I'm just going to take out that ring and skewer it. So this is how you just, adjust and modify. Ta-da! Okay. And actually there's one more here. Forgot it was underneath all the peels. Get the outside off. And skewer this baby. And boom. So those are going to get ready. I'm going to set them aside, and this one little piece that fell out of the middle. And I'm going to grill them. And then, like I said, they're going to chop up and I'm going to marinate them. But not till those I'm not going to do till after they're cooked. And then after that, like I said, I'll mix those with the zucchini and the yellow squash, and it's pretty. It's green and yellow and white, and it's a little bit of balsamic and olive oil, and it's really good. And that'll also be something that can be put in a tortilla by itself as a little veggie, also with the portobello mushrooms, or it can accompany the meat. But I am gonna saute some peppers and onions to go with the meat if somebody wants to put peppers and onions on their fajitas that way. So that's that. Now, shortly, I'm going to leave you now, but shortly I am going to make Carlo's birthday cake. So I'm going to come on a separate live and make the cake with you. Okay? So right now I'm going to put all this stuff away, and then I'm going to get ready to make the cake because I want that to cool off so I can frost it later. Okay? So, and it's going to be a fun cake. So come back. So I'm saying goodbye now. This is something you can do. It is pretty easy, as you can see, even with food still in the bags from the grocery store. You cut the meat, you squeeze the lemons, you marinate the stuff, let it sit the rest of the afternoon. It's doing half the job for you, all the flavors, and all you got to do is put it in the fry pan. I'm using my grill, my big double griddle. I think I'm going to put that on the stove, and I'm just going to put them on there, and boom, done. And that's it. So very simple. And I'm going to have bowls of the vegetables, and it'll be kind of like a little food bar. People can take what they want. And I'm going to marinate the fish later, but again, just a little bit before, not so long, because I don't want it to be too, falling apart. So that's that. Okay, so I hope that was a little bit of something for you today. Not like my normal, so organized show, but I will come back later and make the cake. And it won't be too much later because I got a lot to do today. So, mwah, I'll see you guys later on. Ciao.